Meow. I don't know AM2R. I only know the real Metroid 2. Metroid 2 was a cute little black and white Game Boy game about being scared in a cave. And I guess it must have been remade a number of times because this game is called Another Metroid 2 Remake. It's funny that it's easily the most famous one. Like, I had never heard that there was a Metroid 2 remake until there was another one. You know what I mean? Long before the release of the official Metroid 2 remake, which was not even announced. I don't think it was announced at all, right? It just like came out or something. Um, yeah. Yeah. But the developers redeemed themselves. Metroids. Numerous incidents in the past have brought to light the highly destructive power of these life forms, spreading fear across all known planetary systems. I'm trying to decide how much of a Zap Brannigan I'm trying to do. Hoping to secure peace in the galaxy, the Galactic Federation orders the extermination of the Metroid species. I was the best candidate for the job. I didn't realize it was Samus talking. Once again, I find myself standing alone against the Metroid menace. What horrors await me within the depth of their homeworld? No, yeah, the foreshortening's a little fucked up there. Hello, Simon. It says AM2R. AM2R. Oh, AM2R. AM2R. I see. AM2R. When we work together, it's much better. My best friends. This is gorgeous. This is damn gorgeous. I immediately thought, like, damn, this looks kind of better than Zero Mission just because of the scale of the background. Like, I don't think any official Metroid game has ever had such an open backdrop before of like that actually looks like the surface of a planet. I'm kind of taken aback. And this is a fan game indeed. Technically a remake of Metroid 2, but I have no idea how close it holds to Metroid 2. I might figure it out by watching, because, you know, brain remember in mysterious ways. But from what little I played of Samus Returns, the 3DS game, it did not feel very much like Metroid 2 at all. Oh, this is awesome. It's so, the sprite work is gorgeous. It almost, I would actually say this is like on par with Super Metroid aesthetically, which is to stay above the Game Boy Advance games. At least these screens. I do think it's aesthetically better. I think so. Like, I think what makes it so aesthetically nice is that like I mentioned on the last stream how the Super Nintendo generally trended towards like dark colors and the Game Boy Advance trended towards like hyper bright colors, and neither one is exactly perfect. This is like the right middle ground. Like, it's not ridiculously bright like the Game Boy Advance. It can go into that darker territory, but it's also not quite stuck dark. the way I feel like Super Nintendo is. Like that, just that lime ass green is like brighter than anything outside of like fucking Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo. Zink says they can't hear you in chat. Zink said if Krona is talking, I can't hear. Oh yeah, I just went over to the video and I can hear me but not you. Is OBS not capturing your microphone for some reason?
Okay, my bad, chat. I had to unplug my mic and plug it back in earlier to get Discord working, and I forgot that that would also affect OBS, so I had to... Like, plugging it in didn't automatically set that as my capture audio. But yeah, all I was saying about this game... The goal with this remake was to bring it up to the same standard as Zero Mission. In some ways I think it's better, in some ways it's worse, but the things that are worse are also flaws that were in the original Metroid 2, so I don't hold it against the remake too much. It was an attempt to be faithful to the old one, and that's what holds it back the most, is just that old Metroid 2 had some stupid shit, which is fine, because that's also the case with Nintendo's official remake, which is overall a worse product than his. And also I was saying that, right when we realized that my mic wasn't working, we were saying that, well, now I lost my train of thought.
Graphical comparison to,
yeah, you were talking about that. I was talking about the controls, that's right. I was saying that the controls in this have some quality of life features that official Metroid didn't add until, I think, Dread, which is insane. Like what I can do now, like pressing the right trigger to go into a morph ball, literally that exact input is in Dread.
Huh.
But,
well, they obviously stole it from this.
Yeah. It really feels like I
awesome.
mean, think about it. Like, you work at Mercury Steam, spent the last couple years, year or two, working on a Metroid 2 remake for Nintendo. And then right around the time your game releases, Nintendo sends a cease and desist to this huge fan remake that was really popular. And you're like, okay, well, like, people are going to be comparing my game to this thing. So naturally, like, I have to play it. I have to find out is it really that good, you know? And,
well, and like,
there's no way they didn't.
There's a huge aspect as well of like, and this is gonna sound like me taking credit for this somehow in like an ass backwards way, but you know, I'm the only one who's ever gonna give myself this kind of ridiculous credit. But like analysis videos, you know, like the rise of this genre, talking about these types of games, I think inevitably, like the people who, I should just say creators in general, they definitely listen to criticism of their stuff.
Yeah.
Like whether they take it to heart, whether they agree with it or not, like they're gonna hear what fans have to say. And it used to be that fans were only really expected to rise to the level of like, you know, leaving a comment on something or maybe sending fan mail in. You know, like the most dedicated fans would like send letters in, and that's how you found out like what people think about your stuff. But now there's people making like hours long dissections, you know, like literally breaking down the function of every single thing that works or doesn't work in a game. And like, it's one thing to have casually played, you know, Metroid when you were younger, and then now you work as a game developer, and like maybe you'd go back and play the old games while you're working on a new one. But like, I feel like to fans that's like an innate, like that just makes sense. Like they would think, yeah, of course you're gonna go play the old game before you make a new game. And it's like, you don't necessarily have time for that. Like if you're actually like, if your job is making games and maybe you have like a family and like maybe you're excited about new video games, you got like time for one game, you know, in your week. Like it doesn't always make sense to do that level of study. And even if you did, you're not necessarily going to get out of it everything that's there, you know, like you might not be in the right frame of mind to like really analyze it.
Get
but
me out
like
of the soup.
if you're working on one of these games and you know that there are, you know, YouTube videos with millions of views that spend hours breaking down the game, and you could just fucking put that on in the car and listen to it on the way to work, like, I think you're gonna take some notes. I think inevitably, and so yeah, I definitely think that Mercury Steam, like, I think they were obviously trying their best when they made Samus Returns. Like, it's a better game than their previous Castlevania Lords of Shadow 3DS game they had made. So, like, they were on some level like, all right, we're going to take Metroid, we're going to, like, modernize it in little ways, we're going to make it new. And then the fans were like, fuck that. This thing's cooler, this fan game is cooler. They were like, oh, okay, well, like, now we have to study the fan games, now we have to study the fan content. But then, like, it wasn't just that people said, oh, AM2R is better. It's that they made videos about why AM2R is better. They fucking wrote books about why AM2R is better. So yeah, I absolutely think Mercury Steam has seen the discourse.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason Metroid Dread can be, like, perfect. Where, like, very few Metroid fans dislike that game. From what I have seen.
Yeah, no. Dread is fucking great. I've probably played that one more times than any other game in the series, honestly. It's so, like, addictive. It's
they made
a perfect pick up and play game.
Playable. Like, it's one of those things where, like, if you study the way Metroid fans are playing Metroid, like, you're gonna think about it as, well, this is a game that I'm expecting to play 100 million times. Like, what's gonna optimize that experience of the game, And I think they worked towards that.
Yeah.
I want to read you a comment I got that's gonna make your mind melt.
Can't wait.
I gotta go bring it up first. Okay, Samus. Here we go.
Oh, is this where I get the spider ball? This looks familiar. I played this part on my Game Boy. I didn't get far in the original, but I remember this.
This person actually left multiple strange comments. I'm trying to find the one I want. God damn it.
Yes!
Okay, here we go. From Rojin ZZ on my Samus vs. Isolation channel. Metroid Samus Returns for Nintendo 3DS is the best Metroid game.
Oh, what the hell?
This comment was left 5 hours ago. I responded, you are the first person I've ever seen express this opinion. Care to elaborate? They responded, they seem to have accidentally responded the same thing 3 times. I'm guessing YouTube probably ate the comment and then they had to copy paste it. Okay, well, I'll read the third one. It says, Metroid Samus Returns to 3DS is the best Metroid because it nails classic 2D exploration with modern systems that keep every minute engaging.
No.
This reads very AI. 1. Clear objective loop. Hunting Metroid steadily changes SR388 and pushes you forward, so exploration always has purpose. That's true in all versions of Metroid 2, for what it's worth. 2. Combat that feels great. Free aim and the melee counter add timing, precision, and momentum to every encounter. That's kind of my least favorite thing about the game.
I would argue that it subtracts momentum from the game because it stops you dead in your tracks. That was the worst thing about the whole game to me.
Same. 3. Smart upgrades. Ion abilities like Scan, Pulse, Lightning, Armor, Beam Burst, and Phase Drift add depth without breaking the 2D flow. I never got that far.
I did like the Aeon abilities. I thought they were neat. They weren't like a game changer or anything, but they were nice little new features.
Number 4, big interconnected world areas feel distinct, secrets are everywhere, and backtracking stays fun thanks to new tools opening old paths.
That's true of all of them.
Fair of all of them. 5, quality of life teleport stations and a readable map reduce friction so the game respects your time. Is there a not readable map in a Metroid game?
I think they just mean it's more detailed. I don't know. It's very weird.
I don't know what the map is. I don't know what's different about it in that game, I guess.
The map is better in Dread than it is in that game. I mean, if this is a new comment comparing against every other Metroid game, like there's
Yeah, it's
no.
weird that Dread hasn't been brought up at all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
It makes me
everything
wonder if
that.
they haven't played Dread yet.
Yeah, it's like everything that's good about Samus Returns is good about Dread, and Dread doesn't have any of the problems. Super weird.
Number 6. Bosses with Bite, Diggernaut, Queen Metroid, and Proteus Ridley deliver tough, memorable fights that reward mastery.
The Ridley fight was fun, but I kind of felt like it like robbed the game of its, like its mood. Like the ending was all wrong, you know? Like, I don't know.
Zink says, comment feels very AI, but I do love Samus Returns.
It's okay.
I guess some people do. Some people love it. I own it, and I don't own a 3DS, so I can't play it.
I wanted to love it when it came out.
Real replay value, hard mode completion rewards, and speedrun goals make a second or third run tempting. And 8, built for handheld short save to save loops, crisp 3D depth, and responsive controls make it perfect on 3DS. Simple, interesting, big world reasons to finish it once and then do it again is the peak of 2D Metroid on a portable. And it's a good argument.
Yeah.
So, give them that.
I would also say 3DS as a handheld, super uncomfortable. It is just a square, and I would rather play a Metroid game on anything else. But like, you can't even like wall jump in Samus Returns, and I would imagine it's because they knew that would fuck up the circle pad. Like, just rip the rubber right off of it.
This person also has a couple of comments that are like insisting that I should have uploaded my Metroid video to the We Watch Anime channel simply on the basis that it is a Japanese game and it should be about all things Japan. And I'm like, it's an anime channel. It's for anime. No.
It's kind of
It was already a stretch putting manga on there. I already felt a little funny about having manga content on the We Watch Anime channel. Because I was like, it's not really a manga channel. It's like, I might, if I were to do manga content again, I might make a different channel for it. Just because it feels like, I don't think the same audience is there. Like, I honestly think that anime and manga have just different fan bases for the most part. Like, there's crossover, obviously, but they are different worlds.
I feel I have,
especially in America.
I feel like I should have bombs by now. Where the hell are bombs at?
Think says 3DS isn't too hard to emulate these days. Well, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, 3DS emulator, the Citra, had been getting better over time, though I think development on that halted at the same time as they cracked down on Switch emulation.
I have never tried to emulate anything past the DS that I can think of.
Used a PS3 emulator, and I like tried a Switch emulator one time, and then realized that there's not really any Switch games I care to emulate, like, other than, I guess, like, I tried Legends Arceus just to see how I would like it, and I didn't get very far because that game has the most boring tutorial ever. It takes like 6 hours or something. Everyone tells me, oh, Legends Arceus is so good, and I'm like, I believe you. I believe it's good. I just haven't.
It all comes down to like what bothers you, you know, like.
Yeah.
Because I was watching Dunkey play the new game, A to Z.
Yeah.
Did you see his video?
No, not yet.
It's basically like, I'm sure he probably played less than an hour of the game that is represented in the video, because it's him being stuck in the obviously endless tutorial section, and then at some point the game just crashes and he turns it off. And like, watching it, like, my feeling was like, oh man, you know, this looks painful, because I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what this experience. I've played Pokemon. I know exactly what the experience he's going through is. But I showed it to Bird, who's, you know, who wants this game pretty badly because he loves Legends Arceus, and he watched it and he was like, yeah, that just made me want it more. He was like, obviously it's a Pokemon game. It's gonna start off with a bunch of annoying tutorials. Like, I'm not expecting that, you know. So
Of course.
just a matter of like, if you're willing to just take it as it is, which I am with Pokemon, but I have to be in a very specific mood to even play Pokemon at all, because as I said to you, it was a funny experience because you were on like a Pokemon kick,
Yeah.
and you were playing Platinum, and I started playing Platinum as well, not realizing that the way you play Pokemon is just like blazing through the game, like you're just beating it. And I was like, I'm gonna catch all the Pokemon. It was like really taking my time and going slow with it. And
Yeah, because I want to play them
like,
all. Like, I play
like
Platinum with the far-off goal of, like, yeah, and when I'm done with this, I'm gonna play Black and White.
yeah, you're thinking of it like I'm blasting through every Pokemon, and I'm thinking of it like I play a Pokemon game maybe once every couple of years, and it's gonna be like, you know, a week out of my life, and that's the Pokemon week of that year, you know, like.
I feel like that's the more normal way to play video games, and I'm the weirdo.
I don't think so. I don't think there's a normal way to play video games.
Well, normal
think
as in
any-
like the average human experience.
I just don't think that exists. I
Okay.
don't think there's
Fair.
two people who play video games the same way. Like,
Fair.
just a sheer number of gamers that I've talked to or like heard the way they talk about. I think there are certain games that there are popular ways to play that game. I don't think there's two people who like overall play video games the same way, because everybody's got different like I feel like most gamers are way more specific than they think in terms of like what they're really into. Like, a lot of gamers have a phase where they're just playing everything new that's like hyped, but that never lasts because inevitably you get burned on like some big release that fucking pisses you off.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like a cultural event that a game burned so many people. Like Watch Dogs would be a great example, where like there was a significant number of people who just swore off of modern gaming completely after Watch Dogs, like, because they were just like, did you see the pre-release hype for that game? Were you around for that?
I vaguely remember it. I wasn't paying attention. 'Cause I don't pay attention to hype cycles for games. Like, I told you earlier before the stream, like, Cyberpunk was getting all hyped up, and I was just, like, confused. It's same with Watch Dogs. I'm like, why is everyone excited? Like, just look, it's another video game. Okay. What's
The way
so
that
special about it?
Cyberpunk like actually looks is how Watch Dogs was marketed that it was going to look, but at the time was like that was like well ahead of its time, you
I
know.
see.
And when it actually came out, it looked nothing the fuck like that, and everybody was like, "What happened?" Like, not just graphically, but gameplay wise, like it was just supposed to be way more elaborate than it was, and
I see.
you know, Cyberpunk was more so like broken. It wasn't so much that it wasn't like delivering what it promised, you know. Watch Dogs just like didn't deliver what it was promising. It was like a pretty generic Ubisoft sandbox game. But like, and then they made Watch Dogs 2, and apparently that one's much better because it's like way quirkier and more interesting. But Zinc said Metaphor ReFantazio burnt me out on our JRPGs. I thought it was great, but damn, the ending part of the game was too much. That's how I feel about every Atlas game. And like, I don't know, JRPGs, there's so much sameness with them that it's really hard for me to find one interesting, you know, like on a storytelling level. I know there's some that look interesting from recent years, but like everybody said that Claire Obscure game is like a masterpiece, but they also said it was really depressing, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to play like a long depressing game, you know. Just be sad for like 40 hours.
Yeah. Depression games are for when I am healing from a depressive state. When I am in a depressive state, that is the time for JRPGs.
That makes sense.
I was on fucking my little hiatus. I was just playing Dragon Quest that whole time. Like, that's my depression game. It's just Dragon Quest 7. It's the longest JRPG I can possibly bring myself to enjoy. Like a 120-hour game. Fuck it, let's go. Spend the next month and a half of my life playing this.
What?
Metroid is a happy game. because it's very short and very fun almost the entire time.
Yeah.
Unless it's Metroid Prime, which I'm bad at, and therefore it takes at least 13 hours.
You got to get good at Metroid Prime. I'm tired of hearing you say that you're bad at Metroid Prime because it shouldn't be true.
Yeah.
Like logically, that I refuse to accept that I am better at a video game than you are, especially a Metroid game.
Well,
You're like really good at them in general.
I did make a discovery about Metroid Prime the other day, and I booted it up on my Switch, and I was just fucking around trying to like use a super missile, and I realized because I had my wave beam equipped that doing that combination of buttons, trying to use a super missile with a different beam weapon, turns that beam into a much more powerful version of itself. And I was like, oh, that's how you kill everything.
You also get, I don't know if you just already had this, but there's like a specific wave beam super missile like power up that you get. It's like a secret, like, or I don't know that it's secret so much.
I think that's what I had.
Not.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think
it's on the path towards getting one of the what is it called? The artifacts? Is that what they're called?
Oh yeah.
Chozo artifacts. Yeah.
Those things that make me want to cry every time I play the game. Because inevitably I will forget like 5 of them.
Yeah, for sure. When you get to the point where you're fighting space pirates all the time, very much so, like, using super missiles is the key to making that game not so difficult. And I also feel like with Metroid Prime, like, there's a ton of secrets in that game, but they're never, like, incredibly hard to find if you do just study every, if you really study the level architecture. There's nothing that's like, there's nothing that just looks like a normal wall texture but is actually explodable. It's like you can tell that wall could be blown up, or you could use an X-ray visor to, find shit. So it's just like you can get really, really powerful from a fairly early point as long as you are really looking for stuff. But I think maybe, some 2D Metroid players might be used to like, oh, well, I'm already, I'm good at beating these games without even needing that many missiles or health tanks. And it's like, yeah, Metroid Prime has some pretty, like, long stretches where you're not going to get healed, or you're going to fight, like, a really hard boss.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah, when it's green, I stay right under it. Eh. Jesus. Ow. Okay, that did it. For some reason, I assumed I wouldn't be able to shoot that with my regular beam.
That was a trippy little boss. That's not in Metroid 2 original at all, right?
Oh no, that's the cool thing about this remake, because, much like the official remake, they figure, well, we can't just adapt a Game Boy game 1-for-1. We gotta add some supplemental stuff. We gotta add some new content, make it a little more exciting, That's why it's very funny that because this game, it takes place in a series of caves deep underground, both Mercury Steam and the guy who made this game, independently of one another, had the idea to add a giant drill machine as a boss fight. So we will find that later on, which will be interesting.
Very Mega Man. That boss fight super struck me as inspired by Zero Mission in particular. Like the stuff they added into that game.
There's some pretty wacky boss fights in this game. Makes me happy. The reason why I haven't even finished like classic Metroid 2. I finished this one before, and I finished Samus Returns a couple times. Never finished the classic game, mainly because it is so slow. It just feels antiquated by comparison. Even in Metroid 1, it, like, in some ways it's better because the controls are better, I guess. But like, I don't know. I think it's more the zoomed in feeling that gets to me.
This game, it's fascinating. Like, it definitely feels way more like Super Metroid than Metroid 2 to me, just because of how expansive the artwork is. You know, that like it's interesting that this makes the caves seem so open. Like, so you can see all the background like lattices and stuff. It's very like fantasy Lord of the Rings idea of like a cave, you know, as like, oh, it would just be this giant open space and there's all these lattices and stuff, and like, it's not really how caves work. Like, a cave is in real life a fucking dark little corridor that's, you know, I mean, no caves are as big as the caves in Metroid, but nonetheless, like, yeah, obviously it should be a fantastical, fun cave. I'm just saying that Metroid 2, the original, felt the most of any Metroid, like, actually just being in a fucking cave. Like, just a little dark enclosure, you know? There was not a bunch of background open space implied. As far as I was concerned, the blackness at the back was just the other wall of the tunnel, you know? Like, I never thought of it like that there should be something behind that. This music sounds like straight out of Phantasy Star Online.
Ho ho.
That is a compliment. If anybody is watching this and somehow doesn't know about Samus vs. Samus, I'm just gonna plug it. My audiobook. 5 essays about Samus.
It's very
like
good. I listened to the whole thing in the car.
words. Oh yeah, you hadn't listened to the final part yet when we last talked. What'd you think of Samus vs. Samus, the final one?
It was really fucking good. I listened to it a few days ago now, so it's not fresh in my memory. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was my second favorite part after the one I said was my favorite. Yeah, Samus vs. Womanhood, the feminazi episode.
Those are my two favorites as well. Oh, this is Super Mega Man.
This fucking
This
guy
is
was
as
in
Mega Man as it gets.
I love this too, how they like retroactively, it's like making everything look more like its counterpart from Fusion. Because if you remember, Metroid Fusion takes place on a space station where they deliberately recreate the environment from SR388. Like, they're trying to clone everything about that planet and its ecosystem to make a proper habitat for Metroids so they can clone Metroids. Okay, I know what I have to do here.
A point on the subject of how, like, no two gamers are the same.
Yes.
Are you at all into Mega Man? Like, how much Mega Man have you played?
Mega Man X is one of my favorite games of all time, and I have Mega Man 1, 2, and 3 on NES.
But you haven't played them.
I have beaten them.
So you have beaten them?
Yes. A few times. Mega Man 2 is epic.
So you like Mega Man 1, 2, 3, and X?
Yeah. I would have played 4, 5, and 6, but those cartridges are a fair amount more expensive than the ones I have. And I'm not too keen on the, like, compilation packs, whatever the fuck. I don't care nearly as much about those.
Have you played 7, 8, 9, 10, X2, X3, X4, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3?
Okay, shut the fuck up. I played a couple. Yeah, maybe. I played.
Mega Man and Bast.
I have 0, 3, I think, on Game Boy Advance. I barely played it.
Battle Network.
No, none of that gay shit. No.
Legends.
That's for gay homos who are gay and
No
queer.
Legends.
No Legends. I played, what was it, 11?
Okay, Mega Man 1 or Mega Man 2?
2? Are you kidding me? 1 sucks. I shouldn't say that.
All
1
right,
doesn't
so-
suck. It's just significantly less fun. It's so annoying sometimes.
So the last trans girl that I met who was really into old school games,
Yeah.
she was particularly into Mario and Mega Man, but especially Mega Man 1. as like, you know, like understanding all of the reasoning everyone doesn't like Mega Man 1, but being like it's a different vision, you know, and like just being
Okay.
like fascinated with that vision of what Mega Man would have been, you know. But like the same way that you play video games of just like, all right, I am done having a conversation, so I am now going to start playing video games on my Switch. Like,
Of course.
she had that same tendency, but it was like specifically just Mega Man and Mario. You know, like, I'm sure she had played Metroid, but Metroid wasn't in that revolving door of, oh, I gotta play this all the time. And it's interesting to me how much difference that can make, where like both of you I would think of as like, okay, well you play old school video games as like a thing you do. But like you play like you have like a categorical interest in like famous old games. Like if this old game was influential, like if I've heard of it, I want to know what it is, I want to play it. I want to like have that
Yes.
information, and then if I like it, I'm going to play it again as many times as like the itch comes to me.
Yep.
Whereas she was like, there's 3 or 4 old video games that I am obsessed with mastering. You know, that like I will play Mega Man 1 every single day, you know, obsessively until I can beat it no deaths. Like, and those are similar but different lifestyles, you know, like both understandable to me and somewhat relatable, but neither something that is anything like the way I play video games, which is, you know, more out of like anthropological study combined with I just like exploring. Like I like lists and like checklists, but not the way a lot of games do checklists is boring. But if it's the kind of thing where it's like a fun exploration game and every single time I go into a nook and cranny there's like a little thing to pick up, it will just keep me going to every nook and cranny of the map, you know, like until I know the whole map.
Jeez.
But it's a lot harder for me to get into a game on just a raw mechanical, like I could do this over and over again because it's just fun to do kind of a level.
Yeah, I don't know if you're noticing how fucking fast I can push buttons, but this thing I'm doing here, that's just because I've played so much Mega Man X.
Yeah, Mega Man thumbs. That girl I was talking about had fucking repetitive stress injuries in her hands from Mega Man 1. Way too much Mega Man 1.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, like, and then like meeting her friends, they were all Guilty Gear gamers. It's like, you know, she'd like played it a couple times maybe, but, and I'm like, okay, well that's also relatable to me. Like I love Guilty Gear, but I also can't get, like I like playing fighting games, but I'm not competitive by nature, so I can't get into the mindset of people who get good at those games because
Same.
like there's a level where like if someone is really good and you get good enough to where you can be competitive with them, you will wake up their competitive spirit. And I hate people, like I hate when people act like when people like, ha, you know, or like, oh I got you. I'm just like, all right, you know, like it's a video game, like chill the fuck out, like, you know.
It's so funny. I am very non-competitive by nature, and I'm not even sure why. I kind of attribute it to just growing up with an older brother, because he's like significantly older than me, like 5 years, so I loved to play video games with him, but it was just kind of the rule that because I was so much younger and less dexterous that I would lose at everything. So I just didn't
There's just
care
no
about
chance.
winning, I just played to have fun. Played a lot of Smash Bros, and I maybe won like 2 matches in the like dozen years of us playing together, and it still doesn't bother me. Only got bothersome to lose when I started playing with my friends who are a pair of brothers who are like 2 years apart in age and are super competitive, and they annoyed the piss out of me. Like god, they could make me so mad playing Smash Bros. It was so dumb.
Yeah, I think like in the early days of Smash, it was like me and my brother, and then we both had our best friends who were also brothers. And like I think me and my friend who are both older, like we're both more likely to win, but also sorer losers. And neither one of us is the type to like throw a tantrum. We were just like lose interest, you know, be like, I don't want to fucking, you know, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Hi. Fuck.
And then I also had like my older cousin who's 4 years older than me, who was around for like a lot of my like early teen years. So that was a similar case of like, well, there's no way I'm beating him, you know, like he's always going to be the winner. The rest of us are just competing to see who comes in second kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
Thing says, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do to get better at Smash. Well, I mean, if there's somebody that consistently beats you, you have to figure out how to beat that person specifically, and then you know, apply the knowledge you gain from beating that person to other battles. C Cypher says, I am here. Hello.
Yo.
Nice. Yeah, like the hardest thing about getting like really good at something competitive is that you have to be playing with people who are also competitive. Like, you know, you have to be rising to the level of the best player you can find. My brother Victor and his friends were all like trying to reach that level in Smash, but there just was no scene here in Hampton Roads. So it was like if you actually wanted to play with competitive players, you'd have to drive, you know, upstate, and that just wasn't viable for them to get the amount of practice that would be necessary to like get really good. And the scene keeps, you know, pushing ahead endlessly forward. So if you're not training with somebody who's at the forefront of it, then you're just not going to be there. I only have one. My friend, you know, a few old school Digi Bros fans,
Whoa.
you know, what is now the Vic and Hope channel. If they remember the name Brandon Tolentino, he's the only friend I had who was like significant, like sincerely competitive level at fighting games, but like just there was no opportunities out here. I don't know if he still plays them because I haven't talked to him in like a decade, but I'd be curious to know if he ever got competitive. Growing up, I never really understood like how out of the way Hampton Roads where I live is. But it's truly like it is practically speaking an island. Like culturally it might as well be considered as an island for the rest of the United States.
Yeah, driving there legit it feels like taking the tunnel bridge thing.
Yep.
It feels like entering a portal into another universe. It's really strange. Like I went underground and I came out in a different country. What is this? It's just Virginia.
It's like going from London to Paris, I guess. I think those are the two cities connected by a thing. Don't quote me on that. Tunnel.
I got the high jump boots and the wave beam. Very epic.
Cypher said, I know a lot of people who travel for fighting game tournaments. They were all insufferable, though. I mean, yeah, like I said, competitive people are not. It's tough for me. Like, I don't get fun out of like. I don't know. I feel like there's some people who want a context where they get to be mean to their friends, like. And I feel like that's what a lot of like guy culture just is, especially is inventing a reason that you get to be. And I think part of it is that like that meanness is a comfort zone, and like that part of it I kind of get. Like I understand if you're somebody who your comfort zone is like you cannot stop making like shitty jokes at people. And like I also understand why that kind of person ends up like their friends are comedians or they have no friends. Like that's the two options you've got. Like if you make enemies with the other people who are like that, you have no friends. Um and oftentimes communities of people who are like a bunch of assholes, like like much of the community bonding is about whatever asshole like doesn't fit in with that group. Like whatever asshole decided, oh, I'm too much of an asshole for the rest of these assholes. Like the rest of those assholes will then talk about that asshole never endingly. Is this making sense what I'm saying? Can you
Yeah,
imagine
kinda.
this?
I
Like
smell what you're stepping in.
I know of a few like podcasts I could think of as examples that are like, you know, like they start off as maybe a few guys and then one of them decides fuck the rest of the guys and then goes off to do their own thing, but that thing completely fails and then the other guys just make fun of that guy forever, you know. Many such cases. uh, but yeah, I think
The Procrastinators Podcast.
oh, I didn't even think about that one. um the
So
there's
in
this
that case, that's kind of a reverse because it's like everyone left except the loser.
yeah. um there's a movie that had like a really profound effect on me um like 5 years ago called Bodied. I highly recommend this movie because it is very entertaining. It was produced by Eminem, and it's about the main character is like a college-aged, like spurgy but very intelligent white guy who is like mad into battle rap, and he's just like studying the battle rap scene and he gets obsessed with it and he starts going like showing up to battle rap like events and like getting to meet the people and getting into their world. And it's kind of formatted like a sports anime type, like, or like a, you know, like a Rocky type sports movie where like it's just about him, you know, getting into the scene, learning all the rules and the lingo, meeting all the people, and like they used real battle rappers and everything. Um, so it really is like an exploration of the whole scene. But sort of the theme of the movie is that the main character really looks up to this guy who's like the top of the battle rap game, and in getting to know him, like meets his wife, like, you know, gets to see his like nice suburban, like, you know, kind of milk toast life, like the real side of him. And at the end of the movie, in a final dramatic rap battle, he uses all of that against him and like makes fun of him for having like a nice life and a nice wife and being like a good person. And at the end of the movie, you know, he's like, yeah, I won. Are you gonna like congratulate me? And the guy's like, no, you fucking asshole, you just like ruined my reputation and like I don't want to do this at all anymore. You know, like, but hey, you won the biggest, you know, you're the biggest asshole, congratulations, basically. And he fucks off, and the guy's like, all right, I guess I am the biggest, and like, you know, just embraces being in the world of assholes. And like seeing that movie really, like, it really put it to me, like, if you are trying to win the I can be a bigger asshole than everyone competition, the only friends you can have are the other biggest assholes. And like you have to be ready for the consequences of that, of like these people are always going to be fucking with you, they're always going to be trying to prove that they're a bigger asshole than you. So like, you know, the top of any competitive game, I mean, if you want like the ultimate real story of this, look at Michael Jordan, like infamously just a huge fucking asshole all the time because he felt he had to be. Like, if he could intimidate everybody into convincing themselves that they're worse than him, you know, then he's already won the mental game before he's even started the game. So like, he was just constantly intimidating and fucking with people and trying to get into their minds and you know, under their skin. I think Donald Trump's another good example of a guy who's obviously trying to win the I could just be a bigger asshole than everyone else, you know, and like if enough assholes are willing to play that game with me, then I'm gonna win. But like again, it puts you in the company of a bunch of dumb assholes. You know, in the end, you're stuck with who you're stuck with, and you have to make do with that. And you know, watching that movie is really more than anything what made me back out of like that kind of square. You know, where like, because my goal has never been to be like broadly offensive or to just like be offensive for no reason or to like limit the access to my content by way of being offensive. Like if I'm offensive, it's to make a point, and not every point is necessarily worth making in terms of like what the consequences might be, you know. And if the point is like
Oh
I
my
could
god, of course I can break that. Why the fuck would I think to do that?
if your point ends up being like I can be even more of a douchebag than everybody else, like making that point, it's not gonna make you any friends. It's not gonna give you a bunch of opportunities. It's just gonna make other douchebags go, whoa, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Which, hey, sometimes props are props, you know. If you're really that abrasive and like you just can't make friends by being nice, you can only make friends by being mean, maybe you just take what you can get. But I feel like I could do better than just being friends with assholes. You know. And that movie really made me like open my eyes to, yeah, like the more you project that kind of persona, that's what you're gonna attract, and like eventually it's all you're gonna be left with. And it tends to be that assholes are not like super loyal people or
Yeah.
forgiving people. They're not people who, you know, they might not be sensible people. Sensible. Not to say that everybody who's competitive is necessarily an asshole. I just think I think it's just a different culture. I think that competitive people have their own culture that is difficult for me to relate to.
Huh.
That was the Varia suit. It's just buried in a bunch of bullshit. Hilarious.
It's funny. It shows our statue didn't have anything in its hand. So naturally, there's a secret room right next to it that has the thing. Hell yeah. This game is so epic. It's not perfect. It is flawed. But it's pretty fucking sweet. Yeah, no.
Indeed, most comedians are also insufferable people.
Even when the comedians are trying to be woke, they make me cringe. I saw a video, it was a guy like doing stand-up and he makes like a joke about, oh, transgender people, am I right? And then like, I don't remember what the exact punchline was, but it was something like, oh, it's like I don't know what the fuck the metaphor was. It was just something about like, oh, this thing becomes hotter, as in like transition makes people like more attractive. And then
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, he punctuated it with might even have been some you reposted on Blue Sky now I think about it, but it was where he ended it by being like, oh, like half of you thought, oh god, where's this going? Then you felt relief, and the other half were like, oh man, I thought he was one of ours. I'm not getting your Cybertruck and go home.
Yeah, I remember that bit.
Yeah, I watched that and I'm like, the punchline was still just, ooh, trans people are hot. And I'm like, that's fucking lame. Stop gooning the trans people, you fucking nerd. I don't know.
Goonerism.
There's a fine line between being pro-trans and just having a trans fetish. I'm not your fetish, motherfuckers.
I definitely think a lot of trans people are just fetishizing themselves, and
Well, there's like sex
so
work.
I understand why, like, I understand how it comes off to someone like, oh, trans people are all hot because all of the trans people I see on my timeline are like hot. It's like, yeah, but that's like because you're on Instagram. Like,
It's also
you
a
know?
survival tactic because it's hard to get hired as a trans person, so a lot of folks
Very
just do
true.
porn. And I mean,
Um,
straight guys will just fetishize anything and everyone. It's just
True.
just a fact of life.
I guess my question would be, I wonder how much that guy's comedy is just gooner comedy, you know,
Yeah.
like in general.
It's always the worst when a guy like says something that isn't funny at all, but everyone feels like socially pressured to laugh because it's a comedy show. I saw a comedian not too long ago. I saw a live show with Ben Bailey, he was fucking hilarious. I enjoyed that immensely.
I've never heard of a Ben Bailey. I am a total mark for comedy. I've only ever been to one live comedy show. It was just like No Names in fucking Toronto because we happened to be there for the night, and it's not even Toronto, Niagara Falls, I mean. But it was hilarious. I fucking died. I mean, I was drunk, but
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard
it
got to a point where I got like called out by one of the comedians for like, it wasn't that funny. I was like, all right, your joke.
I was fucking crying at Ben Bailey's set because he's at some point he started talking about like edibles for some reason. He was just like, yeah, about weed edibles, and then this old lady like two rows behind me goes, my son makes them, and he fucking grilled her for like 15 minutes. He was saying, he was like, thanks, voice from above. What the fuck? You've been holding that in for the last 30 minutes, the whole show, this whole time, been holding that in. Like, come on, Sue. Just don't say anything. Don't talk to him. It's not about you. It's not about you. Other people paid to be here. I can't take it anymore. My son makes them. He's like, did you take some before you came in here? You're like in the back there, fucking melting into your seat. He did this like mocking her. He did this like pose, like acting like he was all fucked up on edibles.
Incredible.
See, you can't see it on Discord, but you'll see it on the YouTube. Just going, my son makes them. I was fucking dying. She like tried to like follow, like he couldn't hear her talking because everyone was laughing so hard. She's like, do you want some? She said it a few times. She finally goes, do you want some? He's like, no. You've been trying to say that for the last 10 minutes? Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Imagine offering your son's weed cookies to an on-stage comedian.
Just loves the attention.
Nice.
I paid to go to a comedy show with a bunch of people, and I decided I would participate. Little did I know, the comedian would make me look like the biggest jackass. Oh, I love shit like that.
Generally, if you say anything during a comedy show, you should expect to just be murdered.
Yeah. That's the best part of the show. The guy was really fucking funny. I still think my favorite bit was just making fun of the weird old lady.
I'd like to see a show. Shows have gotten too expensive to go to.
It's true. Everything's too expensive now.
Variety. Every fucking band I like is touring this season. I can't afford any of it. Josh Johnson's playing like 5 shows in Norfolk. The one fucking person who comes to Norfolk regularly, but it's too expensive. It's like $100 or some shit to
Jesus.
see a goddamn comedy show.
I'm just a gamer. I just want to gamer, and I can't even do that. I've been pouring a lot of my attention to my old video games collection because new video games cost too much money. I am a habitual gamer. I wake up this morning, I beat Donkey Kong Country, and then I beat Donkey Kong on the Game Boy, and I started Donkey Kong Country 2, and now I'm here on my gaming show doing a video game with my friend Beatrice on our gaming show where we play video games.
I'm trying to remember the last time I justified spending full price on a video game to myself, and I think it might have been Splatoon 3.
Oh yeah, I bought that too. I got it at half price at Target though. It's pretty sweet. Jesus Christ, this is annoying.
I have had a backlog for so long of games, like both physical games I own, Steam games I own, and then just, thousands of games I've downloaded that are like, every year I just kind of decide that I'm not ever going to play a few more of them. Like, I don't finish a few, I just decide a few of them are now culled from the ever getting played list while continuing to play none of them.
Oh my god, it's molting! Ew! It's bigger now. Fuck. Get away.
Cypher's having a birthday week. Happy birthday.
Happy birthmas.
Birthmas. He eventually said, when I first started going to open mics, my friend who I go with warned me that if we sat in front, we would become crowd work. I mean, that's, yeah, I feel like...
It's pretty funny.
I feel like people should know that if you're going to I mean, everybody's got their first shows, that they've ever been to, but...
It's the splash
even just
zone.
watching comedy online, I feel like,
Fuck.
I usually, I think a lot of people sit in the front because they are hoping to be crowd worked on at a lot of shows.
Fuck. I ran out of missiles. Am I just boned?
Comedy's one of those arenas where, like, it's interesting. I'm a huge fan of certain... I guess it's true of really all mediums, right? Like, it all just depends on the artist. Like, there are some comedians who are just categorically funny, and then most of them are just categorically not. Same with directors or designers or anything else.
The saddest is when you find a comedian that you really like and their special's fucking hilarious, and then you look up all their other specials and they stink. Like, oh.
I don't know if I can think of an example for me of somebody I've done that with. I'm trying to think of the last time that a comedian really, like, stuck out to me.
I think for me it was John Caparulo. He had like this old ass special that was really funny.
I gotta watch some new comedy. I feel like I haven't seen anything this year, and so it's all too old to be good anymore in my mind space.
Yeah.
Like, there's a level where when I've heard a joke enough times that it's just in my brain to be taken for granted, it doesn't even register as like a comedy joke anymore. It's just a reference, it's just like, yeah, that's just how we say that phrase, like, the last thing that really was that funny to me was I Think You Should Leave, which is not stand-up. It's just a sketch comedy show, but it is like the funniest fucking sketch comedy show
Yeah.
of the 2020s so far.
I was thinking of John Caparulo, and I remembered that he doesn't like really do specials anymore, but he has like little like short videos on YouTube. And I remember Josh watched one of them where I don't remember what his joke was. He just kind of said something very blandly about like how Trump stinks or whatever. And some lady in his crowd got really mad and threw a glass at his head and then left cursing at him.
Gee.
Everyone booed that bitch out of there. And then he was just like, well, this is awkward because now I have to refresh the mood and keep everyone laughing, and I just got assaulted. That was fucking weird. You never heard anyone criticize Trump before? What the fuck? Can't be the first time you've heard someone get mad about Trump.
I guess they just weren't expecting it in that context.
Like, have some thicker skin, Jesus Christ.
Just assume that everybody's going to be on their side, or else they wouldn't be in their world or something. Damn, I'm looking through all the specials that have come out this year, and I have not seen one goddamn one of them. Nor even heard of most of the people who've made ones. There's nothing from anybody that I'd be like, oh, I gotta see that. That's one of my dudes. I guess recommend me. If anybody has any recommendations, whether you're in the chat or if you're watching this as a VOD later and you want to leave it in the comments, Recommend us some good comedy specials. I will not judge you if I don't think it's funny. I don't care that you don't have.
Wow, you like this?
I can't believe you laughed at this.
Ew, you thought that was funny? You're cringe. One of my favorite memes ever is this little comic of it's like SpongeBob drawing fan art of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Squidward looks over his shoulder and says, "Are you drawing a Mermaid Man Sona? That's cringe." And then SpongeBob gets really mad and goes, "You're cringe!" And it cuts to Squidward like looking at himself and crying in the mirror. It's a relatable feeling. You're cringe.
Feel the whole world close in. Nobody's watched any specials lately, it seems.
I don't watch his comedy anymore. We just watch TikTok.
Have we truly just entered a world where, like, nothing's funny? Shit just ain't funny like that?
Nothing's funny anymore.
It can't be.
Yeah, comedy's dead ever since it went woke. Can't joke about anything anymore.
Of, like, the last thing I heard that really made, like, I thought was fucking hilarious. Like, I'm sure there was a YouTube video or something I've watched recently that was, like, outright hilarious.
Most recently, what made me laugh so hard I cried was just a compilation of people getting jump scared, like, at work and stuff. Just like a lady would hide behind the corner and then go, "Bah!" And then her coworker goes, "Yeah!" That shit was funny. I like watching those.
That sounds pretty decent.
It's a good time. Like the faces people make, the weird poses they strike when they're startled.
I'm now scrolling through my YouTube likes, trying to find something that's made me laugh in recent memory. This could take a while, because it's going to be buried under a bunch of music and other shit. Damn. I can't believe how little fun. Because I will, if something makes me laugh, I will without fail hit like on it. Like, that is a rule I have, is if you can make me laugh out loud, I will absolutely hit like on your video. But it hasn't been happening lately.
Ooh. Oh, already the space jump, goddamn. Nice. Oh no, this is a boss fight. Of course.
Oh shit.
This is terrifying. Scanning. Torizo.
I mean, I guess I say I haven't watched any specials, but technically Josh Johnson puts out like a special every single week, and I watch those. I just don't think of them as like the same thing. It's like a stand-up comedy that feels weirdly like a podcast. You ever seen Josh Johnson?
No.
You should check him out. You'd like him. He recently hosted The Daily Show for a few days, and generally writes for it, but he like tours all the time, but does different sets like every single week. So just like wherever he is, that set will be filmed and then posted to YouTube. And it's just like usually a combination of talking about whatever current events are ongoing. This fight is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
This is fucking totally unique from anything in Metroid. I guess it's sort of Ridley-esque, but this is the animation and everything is crazy.
There's spikes now.
But yeah, Josh Johnson he'll talk about current events and then kind of splice in with just random humor and just like wacky stuff that he was on his mind. But he's like the most what's the word I want? Wholesome comedian, but not like as in his jokes are wholesome, just like he as a person seems unbelievably humble and nice. Just
I see.
like the nicest dude in the world, but he does, stand up. Some honestly, yeah, probably some of the least mean-spirited stand-up I've ever seen. Like just a lovable dude. I think Josh Johnson was how I was able to explain the Kendrick and Drake beef to my mom, because he has one of his specials for when that was going on is called "Explaining the Kendrick and Drake Beef for White People," and I knew my mom wasn't gonna sit through the FD Signifier 3-hour video that you watched. So. Yeah, Josh Johnson.
God damn it. Stop touching me!
Yeah, but seriously, you can't be the only person who's made me laugh on YouTube lately. That's crazy. YouTube used to be mostly funny. Like, it used to be where I came for comedy.
It's true.
And now I mostly come here for, like, analytical videos and, like, boring shit.
Remember when Ego Raptor did animations and they were all equally hilarious and gut-bustingly funny?
And then you go back and it's just like him doing racist accents and saying nonsense.
Oh, my fucking knee! Ow! Oh, it hurts! Ah, my fucking knee! Ow! Fuck!
When you put it like that, it does sound pretty funny. But...
Sorry, just trying to draw you and I can't get your mouth right. Shut the fuck up for a second. Okay, good.
I guess deleted videos usually make me laugh. That's like the funniest analytical videos.
Wait, what?
It's this guy called Deleted. He does... It's I'm gonna call this a new genre, but it's like... It's not really new. It's like a new form of the rant genre called pack-out videos that are just specifically about, like, explaining why somebody should be packed out of culture. Like, this person has fucked up too hard, it's time for them to go, type thing.
Yeah.
You know? And Deleted is a guy who mostly does that type of video extremely well.
I see.
They're very funny and very well reasoned, and it'll usually start off like the first half is him just kind of roasting the person, but then as he goes he gets more analytical and like explanatory. He's like the best at doing that type of funny, like, you know, like being funny and being a roaster, but also being like low-key extremely woke. Like his aesthetic is like, the aesthetic of the channel is like, if you're offended, this is not for you because we're gonna be making jokes here. But like, even though that's the aesthetic, it's like the wokest like it could imaginably be in terms of what the actual like politics that it's holding the people are. So it's funny in that way.
Interesting. Those are my favorite ones.
That channel makes me laugh, but I can't think of another fucking channel that makes me laugh regularly that I watch. It's making me really sad. I'm like, damn, is this my fault? Like, is nobody funny, or did I fall out of comedy? Like, I feel like Ryan Long was still funny, at least somewhat recently, but I can't think of anything he's done in the last, like, few months that was funny. Yeah, I'm like scrolling hard through my likes, through like weeks of likes, and not finding any comedy.
That's just in. Nobody is funny anymore.
Like
Nothing will ever
Yahtzee's
laugh
videos
again.
are like they're like clever, but they don't make me laugh. It's more like, oh, you really did find another, you know, clever way to say a thing.
Did you
endlessly every week.
Do you ever laugh at donkey videos?
Rarely. Rarely would I say they make me laugh. They're more of like a, huh, kind of a. I'm trying to think of the last Donkey video that made me like had a really funny moment in it.
I quite like Dunklet. He makes me lol.
I'm entertained by them, but I wouldn't call them funny.
I'm gonna tell him you said that.
Yeah, I'm looking back through his videos and I'm like, none of these, like, I remember moments from them that like stick out in my mind, not because they made me laugh, but because I was like, oh, that's a clever way to approach doing a type of video like this, you know, like
watching a Donkey video going, quite humorous.
He's doing a running gag about like the quality of like the most random graphical details, you know, where like in Silent Hill F it was like the cloth doesn't move, and that's the biggest problem with the game is the cloth doesn't move, you know. And then in Ghost of Yotei it's like the cloth moves just a little bit, and then in Pokemon Legends it was like they reused the picture frame on the wall, and like you know, individually none of those like made me laugh, but I think it is a funny bit, like conceptually.
I think that's a funny bit because it makes me think of those stupid ass Crobe Cat videos. They like, it's like this YouTube channel where I try to be like, old video game that has soul versus new video game that has no soul, or like just trying to like compare and contrast video games in the most insipid way possible. To like paint one as like bad.
Level right now.
What?
Why is this a Sonic level? What's going on here?
I'm going fast. I gotta go fast. I go fast. This background is very Sonic flavored.
Yeah, this game is really cool. It is not a Metroid 2 remake in my mind. Like, it doesn't resemble it enough for me to think, oh yeah, this is just like Metroid 2. It's like, whoa, what the fuck is this? This is a Metroid game? Like, in certain ways it reminds me of Axiom Verge, just because I feel like the approach it's taken to pixel art is similar in certain ways. Hard to describe, though.
I see this game as something of like, what do I say? It doesn't like fit into the Metroid canon. Like the writing is kind of the worst thing about it. Like the writing fucking stinks. But it's more to me as like supplemental material just for the sake of completion, because it feels bad for the first game to have such a good remake and for 2 to not. And also for it to just fit so uncleanly into it, where it's like, you go from GBA to 3DS, then back to Super Nintendo. That fucking reeks. Can we go back to pixel art? It's like a reasonable person would just say, fucking just play Super Metroid. Who cares? Just you can skip the ones you don't like. But if you want to be a nerd like me and just be like, well, I have to experience the whole story to get the full effect, and it's like, this isn't the real story. They're like, fuck it, whatever. You know, this is a suitable enough substitute, you know?
I honestly would say that this should really be taken as its own game and not really like a substitute for Metroid 2, because it's not similar. I mean, it's similar that you fight these fucking annoying ass Metroids every once in a while.
In the same way that someone would take Zero Mission as a substitute for the first game, even though the first game is pretty fucking different and has its own appeal.
Yeah, I would say my stance on that has shifted over time, where like when I was younger I really thought like, oh, Metroid 1 just like sucks and isn't fun to play. So Zero Mission made it good, and now I'm like, no, if you have the patience to appreciate Metroid 1, it has a totally different appeal that is not worse, you know. It's just its own thing.
It's just different. And that's exactly how I've come to feel. But sadly most gamers do not feel that way, and they will take one look at Metroid 1 and 2 and just say, that's too old. Too old, too jank. No thank you. I'm out.
Relevant question, sort of. What's your favorite pasta sauce?
I don't eat pasta.
No pasta?
Nah, I'm autistic. That makes me gag. Texture issue.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like arrabbiata.
Ooh.
It's like a spicy tomato sauce.
I saw someone earlier in the chat asking about PS3 emulators because I mentioned it, and I kept forgetting to respond to that. I just wanted to say, if you're worried about PS3 emulation, all you gotta do is look up the compatibility list. Any game you're interested in playing, just look up the wiki. It'll tell you whether or not it's functional on PC with the emulator. Tell you what settings you need to optimize it as best as you can. Like Demon Souls, for instance, you can totally emulate Demon Souls, but that game is fucking weird and you need some specific settings to make it not ass. It's totally doable.
Simon said, I feel like pasta is usually an autistic friendly food. That depends on if you mean like, because if we're talking about macaroni and cheese, that's heavily autistic friendly, but I think we're talking about spaghetti specifically.
Yeah, spaghetti makes me want to.
And I feel like every autistic person I've talked to about spaghetti has like a different specific relationship with it. Like,
I don't think it tastes bad. It doesn't taste bad at all. It's just the texture. It makes me gag.
I've known more than one person who has the gagging problem with it, with the texture.
Yeah.
And I had a problem of like, it's unclear exactly how it is meant to be eaten. Like,
it's true.
Because it's long, you know? So it's like, you can do the roll it up on the fork thing, but usually you're going to end up with something too big or too thick. And also you might bite into the fork, which is super unsatisfying. It's just like a shitty way to eat. And then you could like kind of drop it into your face, but then you're like putting it above your face and everything. Or you could slurp it, which I personally prefer. But when I would slurp spaghetti, my dad got mad at me. And there was one time that he got upset at me slurping the spaghetti, and I just literally, this was when I was like 14 or 15, and I was like, I'm never eating this again. Like, I don't know how you want me to eat this, but like, I don't know how to do this in a way that's not going to upset you, so I'm just going to stop, you know? And I stopped eating spaghetti for like 5 years until it was something I could just do privately. And of course, now I just slurp my fucking spaghetti because I like to slurp. Why wouldn't I? Why not slurp the spaghetti other than it might annoy somebody else? Now I'm used to slurping from ramen where it's like extremely discouraged to not slurp because slurping opens your olfactory, and like that's where a lot of the flavor, especially with the soup, comes from. So like, I don't think that's not true with spaghetti. Like, I still feel like I taste more of it when I slurp it. But it's considered, I don't know, uncouth, sloppy.
Uncouth.
Is
that what your dad said to you, and you were like, "Father, eat my spaghetti," and he was like, "How uncouth."
Has ever used the word uncouth in his life.
Daddy, I like to eat the spaghetti, and he said, "How uncouth."
Zink said, I remember you talking about that in a rant wormhole vid. Yeah, and I don't remember if it was exactly that same reasoning, but I know another friend of mine also had like their dad had criticized the way they ate spaghetti once, and they just swore off of eating it for the rest of their life from that point forward.
Get me out of the soup.
But I don't like feeling like I can't access some, like, when it comes to taste, in matters of taste, I always feel as though I should be able to enjoy something. Like, there are certain things that I pointedly don't enjoy because I like just think, oh well, this thing sucks, you know, like, but if it's something that is good, I feel like I should be able to appreciate what's good about it. Obviously that's not always going to be the case. Some things are just like cultural, but you can teach yourself to enjoy a lot of things. And I guess it wasn't that I like didn't enjoy spaghetti so much as I didn't enjoy being criticized about how I ate it. What the fuck is happening here? Why are you a little robot?
I forgot about this part.
This is very Axiom Verge, actually.
Yeah.
Simon said, when I eat instant ramen, I have to break it in half because, yeah, it's too long. But you are supposed to slurp your ramen, for what it's worth. You're meant to just grab a little bit in the chopsticks and then go. And slurp right up. But I don't play Not gonna blame anybody for how. I know some people who like break the ramen into tiny bits before they cook it, which is, I don't know how you eat that afterwards.
I've been scrutinized quite a bit for the fact that I gag when I try to eat spaghetti, but I am completely fine with ramen.
Interesting.
Like how?
Maybe have you ever tried angel hair pasta? It's like really thin spaghetti. It's more similar to the consistency of ramen. Yeah, there's a lot of different types of pastas. And I like them all. I like pastas. I like breads. Pretty much anything made out of wheat, I'll dig it. I'll take it. Flour, I'm in. Esperdane had said spaghetti is the most boring food of all times, and like, I'm tempted to agree because I feel like when I was growing up, I definitely felt that way. But it really depends on if you like the sauce you're eating, like because like I remember growing up always just finding it very bland and boring to eat spaghetti, but now if I'm gonna make it, you know, like I'm gonna add in like salt and oil and maybe some butter or something, and like get a sauce I really like a arrabbiata that's spicy, you know, maybe even add extra spice to the sauce, put some cheese, grate some cheese on top of that son of a bitch, you know, then it starts to become like basically what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot you can do with tomato sauce and noodles if you're willing to, you know, put some extra effort in. Spaghetti can be very boring, but it doesn't have to be very boring. Celine Fo says, I've turned on mac and cheese, was all in on it growing up. Now I'm all in on spaghetti and hate mac and cheese. That's wild. Again, though, with mac and cheese, there's a lot you can do with cheese and noodles, like in terms of variety. Like, there's so many different types of noodles, so many different types of cheese, crusts, like toppings, shit you can do. Like, fuck. Go to the Dirty Buffalo, get one of their fucking mac bowls.
I'm so confused by this. What is the
Decipher said, I'm pretty sure I just have misophonia for real because I can't stand hearing other people eating. Yeah, my mom will freak the fuck out when she hears that. She has real bad misophonia. I can put most sounds out of mind. Marcy says, yo, yo.
Yo.
Double slurping pasta, how do I do it? You just... Eventually said, for some reason as a child I pretended I liked avocado until I genuinely started liking it. Interesting. I did not eat any fucking fruits or vegetables growing up. That's all learned behavior. I had the most limited tastes up until adulthood, and then I've made like every year a concerted effort to get into more and more food until now I'm at a point where I can safely say I eat more variety of food than almost anybody on earth. 'Cause most people really don't. Like 99% of people like eat a couple of things. I'm way more adventurous than Bird. I'm way more adventurous than any friends I have. I don't know nobody who will eat as much. It's to a point where I can't even really experiment anymore because I don't have anybody who's gonna go with me to try something crazy and different. I need to make a foodie friend who's willing to go to all the weird fucking restaurants and shit with me, because Bird is not gonna try some, you know, I'm gonna see like Trinidadian, what's that about? And he's gonna be like, well, we don't know, so let's not go there. You know? I'm like, I'll tell you what it is going to be. It is going to be chicken, beef, pork, maybe goat, or you know, like duck or something. basically what I'm trying to say is there's like 8 animals that people eat worldwide, and it's not going to be that different. They all taste pretty similar. Only so many spices and types of spices. You ever eat duck?
No.
Duck real good.
Duck.
Duck fat. We always get duck fat as a cooking agent because it makes everything taste like duck.
Duck Dynasty.
See, Cypher said duck is really fatty, isn't it? Yes, it is.
Duck Dynasty.
Why do you keep saying Duck Dynasty?
I don't know. You made me think of ducks. That made me think of Duck Dynasty. Remember the movie God's Not Dead? And the guy from Duck Dynasty was in that. He was just like, "Hello, I'm the guy from Duck Dynasty. I love Jesus." That was weird.
I do not.
I watched that movie with my mom. My
All I
mom
really
watches
know
a lot
about
of
Duck
stupid
Dynasty is those guys were like, before they were Duck Dynasty, they were just like 4 clean-shaven like pop boys, you know, like just like normal ass looking guys, and completely playing characters. That was really where I learned about like the concept of grifters, actually. Like finding out about that the Duck Dynasty guys were like not real rednecks was what I learned. Like, wait, people will just like pretend to be a thing they're not for cash? Turns out.
It's so funny.
Turns out it's pretty commonplace. Trixie, when you visit California again and we meet up eventually, I will eat adventurous food with you. Oh yes, that's where I would like to do it the most. Central California. That's where the food get real crazy. Eat a big old menudo plate. You ever had menudo?
No.
Ever heard of it? It's brains. It's not bad.
What the fart?
Yeah, Mexican food, like authentic Mexican food, they often have menudo. And tripe. You ever had tripe or heard of tripe?
No.
Tripe?
I don't know what food is.
Tripe is like stomach lining.
What the fuck?
That is like slow cooked, and there's, I want to say like most cultures besides America seem to have some form of tripe that they eat, but it's very much not a part of the American diet. But there's different cultures make it very differently. So like if you get like a pho, which is Vietnamese noodle soup, like rice noodle soup, like you can often get that with tripe, and it's like a type where it's like white and it thick and chewy. It's a texture that I really like, but a lot of people just consider it an abject nightmare. They're just like, I hate this. Why did you do this to me? But like the tripe that's in soup is like mostly flavorless. It just kind of takes on the flavor of the soup. It's more of a texture experience. But then like Italian style tripe is like they slow cook it all day, and it smells and tastes like sock. There's no other way to describe it. It smells like a sock. It tastes like a sock. It's the worst thing I've ever had. And like, it's just a mainstay of Italian food because it's cheap. You know, it's like the kind of thing that if all you could afford is tripe, which is not good, you know, it's like you're just slow cooking it all day to make it soft enough to be edible.
Holy shit.
And, you know, take on some flavor. But it's just shit. It's just, it's ass. And, I got it one time from like a pretty fancy, like decently fancy Italian, like a place I really trusted their food. So I was like, well, if I'm gonna try it from anywhere, I'll try it from here. And I took one bite, and I was like, this is fucking disgusting. So yeah, Italian tripe, absolutely no. But Bible tripe, like in pho, I'm totally fine with. Decipher and Zinc agreeing that pho is pretty much the only good time for tripe or organ meat in general.
Talking about food made me think of my friend who is German Italian, and he he told me a story about when he first moved to the States, and so like him and his wife went to the movie theater. It's not important what they went to go see. What's important is that while they were in the lobby, they went and got some popcorn, and his wife asks him, do you want to go get butter? And he was like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah, well, you want to go get butter for your popcorn? It's over there. And he was like, what? And he looked over and saw that he described it to me as like this disgusting pumping liquid butter just going like, yeah,
that shit.
And he said he legit almost threw up just watching it happen. I fucking
those
died
until a little later in life, actually, like the pump butter. Like I think I had seen like the movie theater staff do that behind the counter themselves, but like only more recently had I seen ones where you could like yourself go get the butter.
Yeah.
That shit ain't butter. That can't be anything. That is not some type of butter. That is a
putrid.
butter-esque substance.
It was just so goddamn funny to hear him describe it like it was the grossest shit imaginable, and I'm like,
you should have seen.
I'm like, I never thought of it that way because I'm American, but now you point out to me, it's pretty fucking gross. Yeah.
When my buddy Cider from Australia came to America, he was utterly devastated by the sight of yellow cheese. Like, he was just like, that's not a natural state for cheese. Like, cheese isn't supposed to be, like, y'all are doing something to your cheese to make it yellow, because it's never yellow. Like, because I've never seen that before. I was like, yeah, I'm sure we're doing something to it, but
the things that are that kind of shit cracks me up because it's just normal for me. So when someone points out and goes, what the fuck? It's like someone pressing the reality switch and just being like, yeah, you live in a weird fucking place.
I think it's weird that we don't use the word burger the way that they do.
Yeah.
Because theirs make more sense.
Yeah.
Because in Australia they say chicken burger to mean like a chicken patty on a burger bun. You know? Like what is a burger is defined by the bun it's on, which makes more sense because we use hamburger for all kinds of shit. And then we just call it like a burger sandwich or whatever. Well, we don't call it we should call it a hamburger sandwich versus a hamburger, but we don't. Hamburger sandwich should be in parlance, should be a thing everyone's saying all the time.
Agreed.
You should just be waking up in the morning and going, hamburger sandwich. The kind of world I want to live in. Petrichor says, I love Red 40. You ever met somebody who gets hyperactive when they eat Red 40?
I don't know what Red 40 is, to be honest.
It is red food coloring, but for whatever reason, like, food coloring doesn't usually, like, add a flavor or any effect, but I guess Red 40 uniquely does. So anything that has red food coloring has, like, a slightly different effect on certain people. Weird, somehow. Red 40 is banned in some places. I think you're not allowed to even use food colorings in a lot of... That's probably why they don't have yellow cheese in Australia, is they're just probably not allowed to.
It's just the things that seem so mundane and so normal, our everyday lives, and then ask someone from another country and they're like, what the fuck? That's real? Thought that was just in your cartoons. Like the big yellow school buses. Big yellow school buses are one thing. Every time one of my non-American friends finds out that's real, they're like mind blown by it. They're like, what the fuck? You actually have big yellow buses that take children to school? I thought that was in the movies.
That seems really intuitive. I'm surprised more places don't have that.
Well, other places I think
Why
the kids
wouldn't it
just
be
walk.
yellow?
Just fucking walk or take the train
True.
or whatever.
Blimey, I've got to take the train to school.
Where
Yeah,
the
fuck
fuck
that
are these
shit.
Metroids?
Maybe maybe having to have like taken some kind of public transit to school would have been like better for my personal development as
Would have cured
somebody
your
who,
autism, yeah.
who like never, felt ready to go outside. But like at the same time, shit, I feel like I had a broader point I was gonna say today and I forgot it.
Shit. I'm not allowed to leave? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, just that like there's not a lot of places in America where that really would be viable. I actually did ride my bike to school for most of senior year. Didn't live that far away.
Aha.
Death. Endless death. How AM2R are you feeling right now, Corona?
I like this game. It's fun.
It's very distinct. It's surreal to me how it like simultaneously feels like a Metroid game, but also like a new Metroid game, like its own. Like if you told me this was a real Metroid game and I didn't know better, I'd believe you. But it's also different enough to not feel like a clone of, even though it's literally a remake, somehow doesn't feel like a clone of Metroid 2.
It's got a lot going for it in that regard. Got some originality.
Simon said, God, America is such a hellscape in terms of our culture. I don't know.
It's a bit cringe, innit?
I like America for the most part, but it's
It's a bit cringe, innit?
boring right now, maybe, is the word I would use.
Boring.
Cringe is also a good word for the way things have been.
Be considered being less American.
I'd like us to learn, like, it would be cool if America got like real into France. Like, I think we need a Francophile era
No.
of American culture. No, you don't want Francophilia?
I don't want to be French. It's scary.
Why is it scary?
I knew a French guy once. I watched him dip his baguette in a bowl of milk. It was awful.
That sounds interesting.
It was disturbing. It was inhumane.
I don't know how commonplace that is. It might have just been that guy.
I hope so, dear God. We'll go to war with them.
I think that there's like an oddly tight cultural relationship between France, America, and Japan, as like all of our pop culture is heavily influenced by one another, but like I feel like the US is the least admitting or like open about this, or maybe just America has definitely gotten very openly Japanophilic. Like, America loves Japan culturally. I think it's pretty widely accepted that Japanese culture is like understood by American culture at this point. Obviously, American culture is widely understood by Japanese and by French culture. And I think Japan is as into, like, Japan has always been big into both French and American culture for as long as it's really been connected to those two things. So it's really just America hasn't quite embraced French stuff to the level that, the other two countries have accepted the US and one another. But like the seeds are all there because so much good American stuff was influenced by Mobius. So much good American and Japanese stuff was influenced by Mobius that like even this game, like it's not obvious because these aesthetics can be taken for granted at this point, but like if I were to try to think like, okay, what is the aesthetic starting point for what this game looks like? It's Mobius, who's French, you know, like he was the guy who did the, you know, original design work for stuff like Alien. Like him and H.R. Geiger both worked on Alien, and I don't know where Geiger's from actually. But H.R. Geiger was Swiss. I don't know that. But yeah, between Geiger and Mobius was defined so much of like modern sci-fi aesthetics, cyberpunk aesthetics, and even anime aesthetics, because both Hayao Miyazaki and what's his name, the dude who did Akira, Katsuhiro Otomo, were big fans of him. Got him. Apparently, France is the second biggest consumers of hip hop after America, or second producers and consumers, and also of manga after Japan. So like, they clearly love getting like the best culture from other countries. I think we should be you know, getting their best stuff too. And you know what France is really good at is like revolution and protest. It's like their specialties. Government hate.
Let's see.
Have you ever listened to Deluxe? Nope. Never heard of it. America has this subtle anti-Euro angle in the culture that's just pure monkey brain tribalism. I feel like that's gotta go before too long though, right? Because like our culture has gotten like we've entered like peak culture war at this moment in terms of like people are either super fucking woke or like or like in their own little corner where they can say what they want, you know, like but like the cultural conversation has gotten so insanely woke. I feel like it's gonna be really hard for people to keep being prejudiced against other countries. Like I feel like right now there's still a lot of like, even if you are woke, your position in, as an American is like, well, we have bigger problems here and we should be worried about what's going on here. And it's like, well, I'm not trying to have us worry about like problems going on in other first world countries. I just want to take their cool culture. Like there's a lot of really good French indie games being made that nobody's talking about, like really good French illustrators and shit. Like French Blue Sky pops off. More people need to know about it. You claim it's peak culture war, but I think we could fall deeper. Well, I mean, if it starts being like the literal Gestapo pulling people out of their houses and fucking like, if we reach a point of genocide, yes, it will get worse. But then it's just war. Then it's no longer culture war. Then it's civil war. I don't think a culture war can get much worse without it being widely recognized as civil war. Right now, some people consider it to be like a civil war, you know, considering motherfuckers are getting shot for like what they think. It's pretty close. Yeah, ICE is pretty, I mean, yeah, you could consider what ICE is doing to be sort of a civil war. It's pretty fucking, I would consider it like it's above the level of culture war because it's not, it's the government doing something to its people. So yeah, that would qualify as civil war. How you doing, Corona? You've gotten quiet.
I am tired, but that's okay because I am the gamer.
You were like exploring in New York this weekend and shit, right?
Yeah, a little. It was a little cringy. It was
Yeah,
mostly
had a good time.
yeah, it was mostly because it was just stuff for my mom because she wanted to go to New York City because she'd never been before. She was staying over this weekend. And I was like, okay. I mean, like I'd been to Manhattan, but I just kind of walked around and did like touristy stuff. And my mom was like, I want to walk around and do touristy stuff, and I was like, fine. Which wasn't so
So,
bad because at
I'm
least
guessing
we
you
like
didn't get to go to the Nintendo store.
I went to the Nintendo store last time. It's like fine.
Ah,
Yeah, no, all the stuff
That's-
I wanted to do that was touristy, I did the first time I went to Manhattan like 2 years ago. This time it was all stuff my mom wanted to do, which was like, you know, like I want to go to Times Square. Like whatever. I don't care about Times Square. Is that
I want to go stand in a place full of people and look at it.
one of those things where it's like my idea of a good time in New York City now would be like, I don't know. I just see stuff that is neat. Like, I don't know. I don't want to.
Walk around Central Park and eat baguette.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is just Central Park. I don't give a fuck about Times Square. Where the fuck did this thing go?
I'm definitely fascinated by the way that people, like, that most tourism is people, like, going to see a thing they have seen.
Yeah,
Like, that's very strange to me.
it's the thing
I
from
think
that
Monkey
movie.
talked about that once on the PCP, where like him and his mom had gone to Italy, and it was like she wanted to see all the tourist stuff, and he's like, "You literally have seen these things. Like, I want to see the stuff that I haven't seen. That's, you know, like the majority of Italy, like where the people are,
Yeah,
where the culture happens, where like, you know, where people are actually spending their like." If it's not something people do to casually have fun who live there, why would it be casually fun for you who doesn't live there? You know, like, you should be doing the stuff that is fun to do in the place. But that's always going to be best known by the locals. But yeah, like, Times Square is literally just like a place. Like, you're going to go there, you're going to see it, you're going to go, that's the thing. And then now you're there. What do you do there?
yeah. We just like kind of walked around and gawked at things, and then got on a tour bus and gawked at more things, and I got tired of gawking, so at some point I just pulled out my Game Boy, and they're like, why are you looking at your Game Boy and there's all this cool stuff? I'm like, I trust you to tap me on the shoulder and let me know when we're passing
Yeah.
something interesting.
You know how many people look at this place every day? Literally millions.
Yeah. Like, it's neat. It's a different environment from what I'm used to, but like I've been to big cities before, and it's not like, I don't know, it's just not that special. I don't know, my parents are always weird about vacations and stuff. They're like, you must treasure every moment is a memorable moment. Must make memories. Like, the kind of memories
Yeah,
I
that's-
make are like the memories where you're like feeling really good and having a good time with your friends and family. It's not like me looking at a big rock and going, wow, that's a really cool rock. Like,
I do
sure,
love
I don't
looking
know.
at big rocks personally. That's definitely a
I
part of
like
the
it,
appeal.
but it's not like the highlight of my life or anything. I don't know.
Definitely depends on how big the rock is. I've seen some big fucking rocks. But yeah, I don't know. New York is like the least interesting place in the fucking world to me. Like, it's fascinating to me that it draws so much attention because
I mean, it's like,
to me it should be obvious that like whatever is the most, like whatever has to service the most people is necessarily going to be the worst thing. Like, that just automatically, that's just basic logic, you know? Like,
no.
supply and demand is, if there's not a lot of supply and the demand's really high, then the consumer experience is going to suck. And that is the whole, that's literally space in New York. There is not enough supply to meet the demand. So, like, even breathing in New York costs more than breathing costs at a normal place. Like, and when I say cost, I don't just mean monetary. I mean, like, it's destroying your lungs faster. Like, it's taking more of a toll on you. Just being in the environment is, like, worse for your health, mentally and physically.
Yeah. Well, I
Stay away
guess.
from places with lots of people, everybody. That's how you get diseases, you know? Like, you're more likely to get sick if there's more people around you. You're more likely to just die. If I was a mass shooter, I'd target the place with the most people. If I was a terrorist, I'd target the place with the most people. Just, again, all these things seem obvious to me, and yet everybody's always like, let me go where everyone is. It's like, I don't know, that kind of seems like the worst idea.
Scanning environment. There's like dead Federation guys here. Is this the cringy part? I think this might be the cringy part. There's like dead scientists and stuff here. These doors are like a little more high
mode
tech.
2026, and I'm gonna say I don't even think homesteading is a good idea because nobody like can do it. There's a nice little middle ground called a town. You can just live in like a town, like a normal number of people, where everybody kind of knows each other. You don't have to be like all in each other's business, but like if somebody died, you'd notice. You'd be like, oh, I haven't seen Carl in a while. Like somebody should go check on Carl, and then like you find him dead. Like, oh, okay. We know what happened to Carl. Like, New York would be like your neighbor got shot and you're just like trying to pretend you didn't hear it so that you don't get implicated, you know? Like,
It's making me think of like New York was really pleasant when we were there, like during the day. But then, like as we were getting ready to leave, Josh wanted to go see the firehouse from Ghostbusters because he said it was only a couple blocks away from where we parked. So I was like, sure. And then it turned out to be like a whole ass like 30-minute walk, and it like got dark while we were on the way. And I'm like, Josh, this is fucking stupid. Like it's just a firehouse. Which we did end up seeing it, but not until after some really weird fucking guy who was clearly like fucking cracked out, like threatened to fucking attack and or rape me, I think. It was really unclear. Yeah, there's this guy just like, he was walking behind us, then he like crossed the street in front of us, like we were waiting for the like traffic signal to tell us to walk. This guy just walked out into the road going, fuck man, no one fuck with me, god damn, do it, come on, like looking at the car going, come on, do it, I fucking do it, and the car just drives by and I'm just like, huh, interesting. And so we keep walking, and the guy turned and looked at us and was saying some weird fucking shit. Just like, yeah, I know you're scared of me. I know you're scared. Some black man gonna fuck you up. This black dick. And I'm just like, this is becoming concerning. Like, I didn't, just don't look at him. Don't look at him. Like an actual New York crackhead right now.
That's what basically being on any street at any time in Portland is like.
Some random guy
probably getting accosted by some weird dude.
Like, dude,
although in Portland it's very often the weird dudes are like fucking MAGA guys, like screaming about the liberal agenda. Really fucking strange.
Yeah, like, I'm much more afraid of white people. I didn't want to talk to the guy, but if I could say anything to him, that's what I would have said. Is like, dude, I am much more afraid of white people than you. I'm not concerned about you because of your race. I'm concerned because you're like walking around saying weird shit.
Holding under your breath and
like visibly tweaking and talking about your penis. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, New York is an interesting place.
In a recording booth, not in the streets. Watch. I've been listening to a lot of. I've been listening to a lot of rappers who are over 50. Specifically, whatever they've made since being 50. Because, like, rapping is a form of writing. It's almost like a form of journalism in a way.
Yes.
And like in that medium, typically getting older makes you better. Like as a writer, you should like you have more perspective, you have more interesting things to say.
Hmm.
And yet like in the hip hop world, it's often treated like if you're over like a certain age, then you're like washed up. And it used to be like back in the 90s, like there hadn't really been a rapper over the age of 30 who was like still successful. So it used to be seen as like this tremendously young person's game. But now we live in a world where Kendrick Lamar is like 38 and the most famous rapper of all time. And like there's plenty of guys who are like pushing 50 or are 50 and are still like relevant. And so this conversation's been kind of opening up about like, you know, is there a too old to be a good rapper? And like as I've been looking into it, there is a shocking number of rappers who have been around since the 80s who are still doing it, who because it's their job. Like what else would they be doing, you know? Like but some of them are like still relatively famous, and some of them like nobody fucking is checking in with these guys, but like this is what they do. You know, they've been rapping since the 80s. That's what they're gonna stay rapping. Um, but it's interesting to see like who's evolved and who hasn't. Like who still sounds like the 80s, who's still talking about the same old shit, but who's like grown up. You know, some people are like still in the club, still pimping, 52 years old. It's like, bro. And there's other guys who are like all wise and sage-like and shit. But there's a guy called Cool Keith who is probably the most just outright schizo madman, just doing whatever he wants. Clearly doesn't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks. Will say anything. Will make any kind of record. Um, and he's like 62 years old. Been around since the 80s. Nobody fucking talks about him like in a mainstream sense. But discovering this dude was to me like discovering Osamu Tezuka as an anime fan, of being like, oh, like this is clearly like the guy, like the most. This is clearly the most inventive, most like forward thinking, inspired all the greats. Like this is the dude, you know, for hip hop. And I found this video of him just like standing in the Bronx in front of a couple big apartment buildings, just like dressed like any dude from the Bronx, you know, giving an interview. But it was from like the 2010s, and he's talking about, you know, having been all over the world and done all this crazy stuff, having all these accomplishments from hip hop, while just like, you know, standing there in the Bronx. And I was like, this is the most hip hop video that ever has or will exist. Like just a regular dude standing in front of an apartment building in an unassuming part of a very dense city, talking about how he's done everything and been everywhere, but he's still, for some reason, just standing in the middle of the Bronx. And that's true hip hop. That's the essence of it. Street wisdom. Anybody who likes hip hop, if you've never heard of Cool Keith, you should definitely investigate. It's gonna be weird. He's basically like Lil B before Lil B, and has worked with Lil B also. I know Krona has no idea what I'm talking about, but
Correct.
it's okay. You might learn one day.
I'm epic.
Epic.
I'm actually cool and awesome.
I can't stop thinking a hip, a hop, a hippie to the hip hip hop. You don't stop the rock to the bang bang booty. So up jumps the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Recognize his name as a Lil B type. Yeah, Cool Keith is the OG Lil B type.
Do I know hip hop? Why, yes, I do watch epic rap battles of history. I can recite the words to all of them.
My name's Leonidas, and I'm here to say I hate the Romans in a major way.
My favorite,
Haven't seen that epic rap battle.
My favorite epic rap battle of history was the one with Elvis and Michael Jackson because of the part where Elvis gets really fat and then says, "You're a creeper, dude. You like to grab your own winger." Because the like little like vibration in his voice would always make me giggle. You like to grab your own winger. Always got me.
Amazing. I cannot remember. I know I've seen at least a couple epic rap battles of history, but I always thought they were corny, so I did not watch the remaining videos.
Oh, they're super corny, but they're kind of fun. I like that one became a meme. The one that starts with it's like Adolf Hitler rapping against Darth Vader, and it just starts with them screaming, "I am Adolf!" that became a big meme. And like, I used to see that on like Twitter all the time. They'd say like, if there were a bunch of like Nazis or Republicans in the comments, they'd be like, my replies right now, and post a GIF of that. I am Adolf. I'm like, yep, that's Twitter.
Epic rap battles of history was one of those things where, like, as soon as I saw it, my immediate feeling was like, I could be doing this, which is like a really dumb thing, because what I should have thought was like, I should get involved in this. Like, I should be one of, like, I should do this. I should literally like figure out how I can be on this show.
It was my favorite, that feeling of I
didn't
can
have that kind of.
The feeling of like I could do this. Like so many people have done it, and some of them are really fucking funny. Some unintentionally, some intentionally. They're just goddamn funny as hell. There's one I saw that was like it was like an epic rap battle, like JonTron versus Scott the Woz, and I really liked that one because the part where like John gets canceled and he like dies in the Family Guy death pose, and then the angry video game nerd takes over his part. Rapping about why Scott the Woz is a worse version of him. Someone can help me take out this fucking Game Boy! It was pretty goddamn funny. There's another one I really like where it's like a 10-year-old kid in his bedroom like recording this, clearly doing like the like whisper singing, like he doesn't want his mom to hear what he's doing. So he's like doing the rap battle. He's like, epic fictional rap battles! Goku versus Link! His lyrics are so fucked up.
Back in 2010, this was like so. Oh man, my fucking brain is like lapsing because I'm realizing things have changed so much in the last 15 years with regards to like how much we know about like who makes stuff, like media.
Yeah.
Like, I take it for granted now that I know the names of like hundreds of animators and like and designers and stuff, and that just wasn't the case 15 years ago, where it was like brand new to know these names. And it's tripping me out that it's only been 15 years because I've literally learned like tens of thousands of names, I feel like, in those 15 years. But like 2010 was when I was first like discovering individual animators, and it was through Gurren Lagann, like people making, you know, animator AMVs and stuff, Sakuga AMVs out of, you know that term, Sakuga?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Sakuga AMVs introduced me to, like, for instance, Hiroyuki Imaishi, whom I assume you know that name.
Of course.
I would have just learned that name in 2010. Like, it would have been new to me. He would have just done Panty and Stocking, you know, and had done Gurren Lagann. I hadn't seen Dead Leaves yet, and he would have done mostly animation. And like, so I first found out the name Imaishi before I even had realized that he was a director. I just had seen like his animation in Sakuga Mats and thought he was the best animator ever, because he did like the coolest scenes in Fooly Cooly episode 5, and like, so just there was like one Sakuga Mad that's a bunch of his stuff set to a Maximum the Hormone song that had just convinced me like this guy is the dopest animator ever. And then like the only other animator from Gurren Lagann like that I could tell like by name could find his work was Akira Amemiya, who at the time had not directed anything but would go on to be the Gridman director, and I think he did Gridman. I know he did Ninja Slayer and Inferno Cop. But he's like the direct understudy of Imaishi, and I did not know that at the time. All I knew them as was two animators who worked on Gurren Lagann. One of them was the director. I wrote a rap battle between them based on the way that they animate Gurren Lagann in 2010, and I found this. The post is called "Oh Shit, Gainax Key Animator Battle, Hiroyuki Fast Action Imaishi versus Akira Hard Look Amamiya." I'm just gonna read this post exactly as it's written.
Please.
Hey yo, check this out. Tonight we got two crazy motherfuckers straight out of Gainax ready to show us what they can do. First up, we got the veteran fast action man, the legendary director and key animator of Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann. This has the N-word in it. My Imaishi Hiroyuki. Then after that, we got one of the newer heads on the block, the master of the hard-looking motherfuckers. Give it up for Amamiya Akira. This shit's gonna be sick. So I'm gonna step off stage while DJ Digiboy lays down a beat and Imaishi takes it away. Let's go. Here's what you gotta do. For each animator, start by watching the video that shows you what their style is all about, then listen to the audio clip where they break it down. I had recorded little audio clips. I don't know where I uploaded them, probably Google Drive, of me doing these raps. I'm just gonna redo them. That whole little intro bit, the way I phrased it all, is inspired by there's a song called Alphabetical Slaughter by a guy called Papoose, which is where he goes to each letter of the alphabet and just like does a bunch of rhymes where every single word starts with that letter and then he moves on to the next letter. But it's like introduced by a guy called DJ K Slay the Drama King, and he starts off like giving this whole rundown of what the song is about to be basically. And so I was trying to mimic the cadence of the way that intro is done in the way that this was written. Anyway, here's Hiroyuki Imaishi's verse. Yo, my flow is never static, cause my style is erratic, and fanatics get ecstatic when they see what I got cooking in the attic, cause my mind is systematic in creating my visual acrobatics. Your style seems dramatic, like you think it's cinematic, but the truth is that your flow chokes like a fucking asthmatic. I've had it. Bust your style with my semi-automatic. That's right, I like guns and making characters run. And you know when I'm in charge, you'll be seeing something fun. Gainax wouldn't be the same without me. They never leave me out because I know they never doubt me. My fans and followers keep track of my series devoutly, so you should think twice before you fucking try to doubt me, bitch. No, try to out me. That was... Anyway. I should have done that faster, because he's supposed to be fast action. Imaishi. Whatever. Akira Amamiya's then goes, Akira Amamiya in the house. I like my robots looking like they gonna take you out. So many tone layers, even Ota King is proud. Take your single color shit and get the fuck out. When I draw Gurren Lagann, you know that dude go hard, cause he's ready to attack with his crazy drill arm. And when I'm handling the scene, you're gonna know what's going on, cause I keep my shit fluid, let you see what I've drawn. Imaishi skips frames like he's playing hopscotch, like he's trying to draw after a few bottles of scotch. Ain't it? And it ain't no surprise when the shit's a mess. Then he tries to play it off as if we should be impressed. Well, fuck that. I may be new, but I got style in spades. My scenes have kept my fans rewatching for days. It's just a matter of time before I start to get paid and take over the role. Gainax won't even want you to play. You heard it here, folks. Hiroyuki Imaishi and Akira Amamiya just laid it all out for you. So now it's your turn to decide. Whose style do you like best? The intense and spastic fast action of Imaishi, or the firm and furious hard looks of Amamiya? Leave your opinion in the comments. Who do you pick? Who won? Who lost?
The one that wasn't Imaishi, whatever his name was.
Amamiya.
Yeah, that guy.
Akira Amamiya.
That's the one.
He draws a lot of the parts where like Gurren Lagann is just like the robot itself is like just doing a cool pose. Like
Yes.
it's got those very like rigid like which is kind of the opposite of Imaishi, which is like all limited frames and very little detail.
That was written
Can I
much
make
better
you
than
Yeah.
the rap battle by the 10-year-old with the Goku versus Link.
Simon, if you go to my blog, My Sword is Unbelievably Dull, and just search for Imaishi. You'll get that post, and I believe it links to the... Oh no, the links are broken. Where the fuck would you be able to... Never mind, the links are broken there. I guess you just have to go look for Sakuga Mads from each of them. I'm sure at the time they were just the only... Like, there probably was only one for each animator. Do you have a favorite animator, Krona? That's something you ever got into?
Favorite animator? Oh god, I don't know. I think I
Easy
learned
answer.
enough names to fill out my top 10 list on Mal, and that's it.
The easy answer is Yutaka Nakamura. If you ever just want to have a good time, type Yutaka Nakamura into YouTube, click on any video that comes up, and you will guaranteed have a good time.
Okay.
He is unquestionably the greatest. I mean, first of all, you'll be like, oh yeah, that fight. Oh yeah, that fight. Oh yeah, that fight. But he is the greatest fight animator who ever has been. Easily the most influential and greatest.
Talk about fight animators, and you make me think of that one shot in Naruto that people say like, "Oh my god, that animation was so bad," when it's like the best looking part of the show.
Oh, the pain fight.
Yeah. That part totally rips, and people are like, oh, why was it so lazy? They didn't draw his head right. This game is either like super cool and interesting, or it's just fucking sludge. I'm at the sludge part right now. I have killed this Metroid 15 times already.
I found an article, like I was trying to find who animated that fight, and I found an article written in a way that was like, where like their opinion is so wrong that the way the article's written like hurts my brain to read. I'm just gonna read this. This is by Diganta Mondal, anime content writer for Fandom Wire.
Okay.
The article is called "The Sheer Audacity: Naruto animator who played key role in the abysmal Naruto vs. Pain animation said Ghibli visuals don't inspire him." When asked whether Naruto is good animation or not, it's genuinely hard to answer because there are a lot of moments where the animation is simply godlike, but at the same time, it also has some of the most nightmarish animations. For instance, the abysmal Naruto vs. Pain fight is a perfect masterclass on how not to animate. This is a real article. This is someone's real opinion.
Embarrassing.
During this interview, he said he claimed bringing up the... Sorry, I can't read the whole thing. This is
So cringe.
You'd be hard-pressed to find another glaring example of irony in the anime industry. The man who is widely known for animating one of the worst animated scenes in the industry criticizes one of the industry's most revered studios. It's a bizarre sight, but that's exactly what this is why anime discourse is so bad. Like, this is what people really think. This is like this was written April 10th, 2025. So this year, there's a guy writing an entire article about the audacity of the worst animator ever to have not been inspired by Ghibli.
If
Like,
you
does
weren't
this
inspired,
fucking work look inspired by Ghibli? It doesn't, does it? Like,
you have to have the most mainstream, universally accepted good thing inspiring your taste, or else you're bad, and everything you made is bad, and you should feel bad. And I am the arbiter of what is good animation because I write articles on the fandom wiki. Whoever wrote that article, please, you can still delete this. It's not too late. It's never too late. You can always delete that. You don't have to leave that out in public for people to see that you wrote it.
this is on r/Naruto. I assume partially in response. No, this was from 10 years ago. So this is a more well-reasoned point, but 10 years before that last point. I got reminded of what I typed a few days ago in a different conversation about Naruto vs. Pain, more specifically the infamous stuff that people always tell the animator who did it to hang himself over it because they take the shit too seriously. but it's actually not bad animation. Oh shit, now they'll hang me too. First off, the guy isn't a bad animator. In fact, he easily has some of the best fights in the series under his belt. For people to understand without having to look it up, he did Sasuke versus Orochimaru in the Forest of Death, Hiruzen versus the Edo Hokages, easily one of the greatest fights in the anime, Naruto versus Sasuke, the same guy. The guy who did your favorite fucking one also did your least favorite. It is funny how much some people hate that. It's really good.
Nah. It's like I don't know. You don't have to, not everything has to be to everyone's taste all the time, subjectivity and all that, but just being like thinking that the pain fight on a technical level is animated poorly, like whoever made that was like did not have the skills, or like just, you know, stupid. Just pure ignorance. Like, come the fuck on.
I'm currently looking into stuff about that scene, more positive takes on it.
Yeah.
For instance, that was apparently storyboarded by the guy who storyboarded like all the best shit in Yu Yu Hakusho, animated like the coolest scenes and stuff. It's actually, in fact, a great fight with amazing animation. Revolutionary, even.
One of the best parts of the whole... It was like a highlight of that anime for me. God, I watched an uncomfortable amount of Naruto. Watching it for the first time as an adult, I gotta say, it is not always that good.
Not always, you say.
Yeah. I think I've said this before, but like for me, Naruto is the same as like My Hero Academia. Like people bitch and moan about it and all its problems, and I'm like, Naruto is the exact same thing, just 8 times longer. Just everything takes much longer. Has all the same issues. Has the same like level of like some parts of it are awesome. It's just like, I don't know. Inevitably with that shonen stuff, like people will get tired of it and then be like, oh, it sucks now.
Yeah.
And there will be, you know, new young people loving the new thing as much as you loved the thing that you loved when you were a kid. It's no different. It's exactly the same. And people will be like, anime is bad now, and it's like, maybe you're just old. Maybe it was always like this.
What is this fucking thing?
It's some kind of fucking wheel, I don't know.
This thing is kind of sick. I think we should wrap it up after this fight.
I agree.
I'm starting to get a little tired.
Oh,
And
I
I
broke
have
one of
run
its
out
little
of things to
bundles.
say.
I'm dying. Get back here. No.
How important do you think it is to like recognize and celebrate like the greats in a medium?
Fucking somewhat important. I mean, it's more like a thing to do if you want to have like a healthy artistic relationship with your, like, I don't know, with the medium that you're an artist yourself. It's pretty fucking important. If you're just the average consumer not participating in it, who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's like all kinds of stuff.
shit's fucked.
I agree, Blood Bunny system. This game does look crazy. On the wrong account, indeed. But that is the account that has the music on it, right? So maybe you do want to be on that account for the promotion. If you're not already subbed to Blood Bunny system, then you should go and in the description of this video, click on the Nisa Draws link, because not only does Nisa do all of the amazing artwork for this channel, but she also has a speed draw of a Samus versus Samus artwork that she did that is set entirely to music made by Zeracula, aka Blood Bunny system. And I assume probably links to the album in the description of that video, so you could therefore go down a whole rabbit hole. I always try to make sure that the description of every video I make has some kind of link to a rabbit hole you could go down, you know? What do you think? Another attempt, or you wanna call it there?
It's like all the way over there. I don't want to fucking do that right now. I'm tired.
Alright, everybody, we're going to bed. Thank you for coming out and having fun with us. We'll do more Metroid. I might be available Wednesday night, if not Thursday.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
What? Alright, everybody, bye.
Meow meow.